Hello world, and welcome to Coding After Effects Back to Basics. In this tutorial I want to talk about the speed method, and what the speed method does is it gives us a speed value for a moving object. So how we have this set up in this composition right now is that we have the ball over here, and I want to move it from the left side of the composition to the right. And this text layer, I want it to give us the speed in which it's going at that given frame or time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to I'm going to first animate this, and then I'm going to get the speed of it in the text using expression. So let me go to ball, and I'm going to give it a keyframe right here, and I'm going to move this ball from the left side of the screen. First I'm going to move this to 1 second. And then I'm going to move the ball from the left side of the screen to the right side of the screen. Easy enough. Now, I'm going to go down to print. And I'm going to go to source text and alt click on it to bring up the expression menu. And I'm going to give it a variable, and I'm going to call it ball speed equals position dot speed semicolon ball speed plus double quotes mph for miles per hour, and I push enter in the number pad, and this is giving us the speed of the ball, and right now it's constant because we have a linear keyframe. So this is not going to change no matter where we at in the timeline from this keyframe to the next. But that looks a little weird. I want this speed to kind of vary as we go from one keyframe to the next. So I'm going to do that, and I'm also going to get rid of this decimal or this floating number right here. I think that doesn't look appealing to the eye. So let me get rid of that first by going down to ball speed at the bottom, and I'm going to write math floor in parentheses, ball speed in parentheses, and push enter. And what math.floor does is it rounds down to the nearest whole number. So 3 was the lowest number, the bottom number, so it went down to 1583. So the next thing I want to do is I want to vary the speed, and the easiest way to do that is by selecting both of the keyframes and pressing F9 on the keyboard. And what this did was it turned our linear keyframes to an easy ease. So going to the middle, it's going to speed up, and once it gets closer to the next keyframe, it's going to start slowing down. But I think we can do a little bit better than this. Let's try to get this ball to have a blur as it speeds up, and when it slows down, the blur stops or decreases. So to do that, first we need to add a blur to this ball, and I'm going to go down to the blur and sharpen, and I'm going to go for a directional blur, and I'm going to make the direction 90 degrees, and I'm going to click on this blur length, and I want to alt click on the blur length to bring up the expression editor down here. For right now, I'm just going to type value, and I'm going to go down to position, and I'm going to alt click on here too, and I'm going to write value. And the reason I do this, value of itself doesn't do anything. So value right now is the default value for blur length, and value for position is still the keyframes that we have on there. So value of itself doesn't do anything. It just returns the value that we already had. But the reason I want to do that was to make our property list, or the property of this ball, shorter. So when I'm trying to edit, I don't have to go through all those properties settings to edit my code. So the first thing I want to do is I want to make a variable ball speed like I did before. And of course, I'm going to take the pick whip to position dot speed. Whoop. Didn't mean to do that. Maybe I can push enter. And now I'm going to go to the next line, and I'm going to make a condition. And in this condition, I'm going to control how much blur is going to be added when it's at a certain speed. So I'm going to write ball blur equals ball speed less than, let's say, 200, and ball speed greater than 2400, I mean. Let me just look at something for one quick second. And right there I just added a comment, so this way I won't get an error. And let me just scroll to the middle right here. Okay, that's a little bit too high. Instead, I'm going to put 2300. And now I'm going to give it a condition if this is true. So what I'm basically asking is, saying if ball speed is less than 200, but it's, sorry, I got a less than sign right there. Oh, no, I'm supposed to have that. It's supposed to be less than, and this is supposed to be greater than. Sorry. Now, what I'm basically doing is, if ball speed is greater than 200 but it's less than 2300, then I want this blur to be, let's give it a 20. And if it's not in between these two ranges, then I want the blur speed to be ball speed minus I'm going to put 2300. And I push enter, but what I need to do is I need to put ball blur down here. Okay, so I'm going to scroll back, and you can see there's a blur as it goes to 379. It's at 20, but once I get past, let me see. Let me just change this. No, let me change this. Let's put 2270, so that'll give us 30 off rip. And once I pass 2300, it's going to start subtracting right there, and it'll go back to 20 once we get in the range of between 220 and 2300 again. And that's basically it. That is the speed method, and we use the speed method to actually get this ball blurred depending on the speed that it's going. I hope you learned something, and I will have more videos in the future. Until next time, peace out, world.